Okay, sure. So I'm assuming that everything is fine. So let's start the class. Fine. So here student, right? So yes, we have completed permutation. We have solved all the important different varieties of question in the last class. So today we'll be starting combination, right? So before going to the next one, let us quickly review what we have learned in the last chapter. Yes, these are simple problems based on permutation formula, right? In the last class, we saw how to consider the permutation whenever repetition is happening, right? This class is for everyone student. Today's and tomorrow's class is for everyone. Okay. Maybe day after tomorrow's class will be only JEE specific class, competitive specific. Today's and tomorrow's is for everyone. Fine. Okay, students. So I was saying that in the last class we saw how to do the permutation of a certain number of objects when some particular objects are repeating. Whatever is the repeating student, you should divide by its factorial. So we saw this in the yesterday's class. Right? In general, if there are three things which are repeating P1 times, P2 times, and P3 times, okay, then you should divide by the corresponding factorial, right? Then we solved a very, very important type of question where, yes, the total number of arrangements that we can do with the help of the letters of the word independence is nothing but total factorial divided by individual repetitions. Then if the question says that, in the first position, one of the letters should be fixed, you fix that, then arrange the remaining among themselves, which can be done in these many ways. Then we have already seen in, last to last class, whenever certain things should be together, put it in a box and consider that as one object with the remaining 7 objects. So this will be 8 factorial divided by whatever repetitions you can see. And then these 5 objects can be arranged among themselves in 5 factorial divided by the repetition ways, right? And I have already told you student, when the question is never together, you should do total minus together. So that will be the answer for never together. Fine. Yes students, so these are the questions that we have solved. Yes, I also told you what is the difference between, right, not all together and no two together. Not all together is same as students saying never together. And the answer for that is what? We have already seen. So the question says never together or not all together, then it is total minus that. But if the question says even two things should not be together, no two objects should be together, that means student, the situation is the last one. Okay, so this is not okay, right? This is also not okay, this is also not okay. Here this is not okay. So when someone is saying no to okay, right? Here two things are okay. So all these things are not okay. Only this is okay. So this is solved by student by the concept of gap method. Whichever objects we don't want together, we should create gaps from them with the help of wall. And you should make the wall with the help of the other object. Right? So we had solved a question based on this in the last class. This is a very important type of question, right? The gap method or no together. This is very important type. Okay, so that's it student. That is what we have done in the last class. Then we solved one question of JEE. Okay, so this is all about permutation. Okay, so today we'll be starting combination. Fine. So in this combination students, so first let's see the basic things, then we will be solving the question. Okay, fine. Okay, so the basic definition of a combination is student, it is each of the selection. Remember in permutation we use the word arrangement, in combination we use these words. What words students? Either we can use selections or we can say committee or group formation or group formation, etc. Group or even team formation. Okay, wherever team formation and selection is coming into picture, it is combination. Fine. So here what I'm saying here is student, right, the definition of the combination is it is each of the selection possible by taking some or all of a given number of objects. The definition of permutation was exactly this only, but instead of selection we have written permutation, and then we have also added the word here in a definite order. But in the definition of combination, that in a definite order is not written. And in the bracket, I'm telling you extra information. Order is not important in combination. Okay. So as a simple example, right? If I have three objects, A, B, C, right? Then what is meant by a combination? So let us say that student, I want to form a team of two, right? Let us say that I want a team of two people. So in how many ways can I pick two people, student? I can pick A and B, option number 1. Then I can pick B and C, option number 2. And then finally, students, I can pick A and C, that is option number 3. So these are the three ways of picking two. Now for each of the selection student, we can arrange these two among themselves in two ways. Either I can write AB only, or I can write BC. Anyway, since the order is not important, we will not worry about that, right? So if you want to just select two peoples, there are only three ways of doing that. And each of this selection is called as a combination, Okay, fine students. So I hope that you understood the basic definition of combination. Out of the given number of objects, whatever they have specified, if you just take that, you will get one combination, right? Collection of all those things is what we will be interested. Fine. Next. So one of the very important notation in the concept of combination is NCR. Obviously here, C stands for combination. What is the meaning of NCR, student? The meaning of this is selection of R objects at a time. Okay, selection of R objects from N objects, right? Okay, so the meaning of NCR is it is selection of R objects by taking, yes, it is selection of R objects from a total of N objects. If you have a total of N objects, and if I want to select any R objects, then that particular thing is denoted by this. We have already learned what is meant by NPR. It has a similar meaning, but in terms of arrangement. The meaning of NPR is selecting, arranging R objects out of a total of N objects. Okay, fine. Let us now first see, student, what is the formula for NCR? In order to get the formula of NCR, student, we will see the formula of permutation in a slightly different way. Okay, formula for NCR. Fine. So we know that, student, right, in the, if I have N objects, 1, 2, 3, 4, dot, 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 up to N objects. And out of this, I am supposed to select, if I want to select any R objects, right? Maybe that R objects can be somewhere in the middle, or maybe I'm taking two objects from the beginning and then the remaining objects from the end. So there are many such possibilities. So here, what I want is, I want to do the selection of R objects. There are many different ways of that. But now, students, I'm first rewriting the formula for NPR. Okay, within this formula of NPR, we can get the formula of NCR also. Okay, we have already done the derivation of NPR. We are doing this once again in a slightly different way. That is, let us see here. This NPR can be seen in two steps, right? So let us say that we want to arrange these objects in R positions, right? 1, 2, 3, dot, 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 up to R positions. Fine. Now listen to me very carefully, student. I have N objects. I need to, out of this N objects, I should choose any R objects, okay? Any R objects. I should choose any R objects, and then I should fill here, right? The way in which we solved this question in the previous lecture was, student, what we did was, we went by the position approach. In position approach, what we did was, student, in the first position, in how many ways can I fill this first position? So the answer for that was, student, we can fill this in N ways, we can fill this in N minus 1 ways. Like that we multiplied, and the last value was N minus R plus 1. I hope you remember that. So that is basically, student, the position approach. That is, for each position we are seeing the total number of possibilities, N possibilities, n minus 1, etc., etc. But now students, what we are doing is we are doing the object approach. Okay. So if you do the object approach, what you will do is you will take the first object, you will see how many options it has. You will take the second object and you will see how many options you have. You will get exactly same answer whether you do the position approach or whether you do the object approach. Okay. But the right way, sorry, the easier way of always solving the question is whichever is lesser in number, you should go ahead with that. Right? If the number of position is lesser, then you should go by position. See how many possibilities for each of the position and then solve. Anyway, as I just told you, you can solve the same thing even if the number of objects is more. You can solve this question by object approach also. In object approach, what you will do is you'll take the first option, first object, and see how many options for that. For the first object, there will be R options available. And for the second object, there will be R minus 1 options available, positions. Similarly, for the third object, there will be R minus 2 objects. Like this student, if I take the rth object, for that rth object, there will be only one position left. So student, but see, what happens in this object approach is, we will be in a position to consider only the R objects because there are only R positions. If I consider the first R objects, I can say that for the first object, there are R positions. Second one, R minus 1. Like this, when I come to the rth object, it will be having only one position. The main object, so the main thing that we have not yet discussed is, what about the remaining n minus r? Okay, the meaning of NPR is, out of this n, take any r objects and then put them in this position. Okay, arrangement of this n objects in r position. But if I just take, the first r objects, if I go by the position approach, only r objects can be considered at a time. You take any r objects and see in how many ways we can arrange that. So that means student, if I go by the object approach, I should do two things. The first thing is I should first select any R objects. These selected R objects should then be put in R positions. The R objects in the R position, student, can be done in R ways, R factorial ways, right? But before that, we should select any R objects. The selection of any R objects out of this total n objects itself is called as NCR. What is the meaning of NCR? Selection of R objects from n objects. That means student, I can write this NPR as, selection of any R objects from n objects. This is the first step. Right? Now student, after this first step, I should choose any R objects because there are more than R. So after I choose any R objects, what I should do is, those R objects should be put in R positions. We all know that student, R objects can be arranged in R positions in R factorial ways. So I should do this, right? This is the first step. After this, and arrange those R objects, arrange those R objects in R positions. Yes. So student, this is equal to, we have already said that the selection of any R objects from n objects is nothing but, that itself is NCR. Into, we should do the selection of R objects. After that, we should also arrange those R objects in R position, right? So that is why I have written and because of the and, you get multiplication here. And the arrangement of those R objects in R position is nothing but R factorial. Hence, student, the formula for NPR is connected to the formula of NCR with this particular relation. Yes, we already know what is the formula for NPR. So if I want the formula for NCR, I should just take this in the denominator. So finally, students, the formula for NCR is NPR divided by r factorial. Yes, we can extend this, student. We can also write this as the formula for NPR we have already learned. That is, student, n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. This is the formula for NPR. To this, if I do one more division of r factorial, that r factorial will come here. Right? So student, this itself is the formula for NCR. Okay, I hope that, student, everyone understood the formula for NCR. It is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. Okay, let me quickly tell you what we did here. Right, to get the formula of NCR, we just have to see NPR, that is arrangement of n objects taken r at a time by position approach. Right, sorry, by object approach. If I go by the object approach, I should first select only r objects and then put them in this r positions, right? Now the selection of r objects out of n itself is called as NCR, right? After I have selected any r objects, these r objects can be positioned in r positions in how many ways? R factorial ways, right? This is nothing but r factorial. So that's it, student. So NPR and NCR are connected by this. So if I want the value of NCR, this r factorial goes to the denominator. And that is what we have written here. Okay, fine. Let us see now, students, some important points related to this. Okay, fine. That is, let me see some note here. Okay, so we'll come to this note in a while. We'll first see some basic things. Okay, so student, what is the easiest way of calculating NCR? Okay, so let me first calculate that. First one. Okay, we have already learned, student, if we want to calculate the value of, let's say, 100 P2. Yes, you should remember, student, the formula of NCR is exactly same as the formula of NPR, but the only extra thing you should do is divide by the r factorial. So if I ask you what is the value of 100 P2, I hope you remember that 100 P2 is nothing but multiplication starting from 100 and then multiply two numbers, right? So we all know that, student, this is nothing but starting from 100, I will multiply two numbers. Instead of this, if there was a NP3, same thing, you start with this and then multiply these many numbers. So in this case, you will say into 98. In the same way, student, instead of NPR, if we have NC3, what you should do, as I told you, student, you should first do NPR only. The extra step is you should divide that by this r factorial. That is the only extra thing for NCR. So that is, student, this value is start from 100, multiply three numbers, and whatever multiplication you did, divide by the same thing. You multiplied three numbers, so divide by 3 factorial. So student, this is the easiest way of calculating NCR. Okay, especially if the r is small. Even if r is big, if you know that value, this is the easiest way. Okay, you can surely use this formula also. If you use this formula, you will get this only. What will happen is, okay, I will just show you that. If I just use that formula, I will be getting 100 C3 is equal to 100 factorial divided by 100 minus 3 factorial into 3 factorial. So that is what I have written here. N factorial, then n minus r factorial, and then divided by r factorial. So that is what I have done here. Now we can write this 100 factorial, the numerator, as 100 into 99 into 98 into 97 factorial. And obviously this quantity is 97 factorial into 3 factorial. As you can see, this 97 factorial cancels. You'll be only left with this. So instead of doing this extra step every time, you can directly say 100 C3 is starting from 100, it is multiplication of three numbers and divide by this 3. Okay, whatever value is there, you just divide by that factorial. Okay, fine. Next, second one. So the second one is, student, some special values of NCR. Okay, like we did for NPR. Fine. What is the value of NC0? Yes, the value of NC0 will be student n factorial divided by n minus 0 factorial into 0 factorial. Okay, I want you guys to memorize this. The formula for NCR is what, student? N factorial divided by difference of these two. Okay, divided by n minus r factorial, and then in the denominator r factorial. So NCR is n factorial divided by the difference of these two factorial and then r. Okay, so that means it starts from n and then there's a connection between n and r, that is n minus r factorial and then r factorial. Fine. So that is what I have done here, n factorial divided by n minus this factorial into this factorial. Now student, this quantity is same, this n factorial and this is same, so they will cancel out. And we have already learned in the earlier classes the value of 0 factorial is also 1. So what is the final answer of this? It is 1. Yes, very good student. Then second one, what about NC1? What about NC1 student? Let us see. N factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial into 1 factorial. Yes, that is correct, Tarak. Now, obviously, student, this is a bigger factorial. I can write this bigger factorial in terms of the smaller one. Yes, so we can write this as n into n minus 1 factorial divided by n minus 1 factorial. Right? So these two will get cancelled out, and 1 factorial is 1 only, so I have neglected that. So the answer is just n. Okay, fine. So I'm just talking about the special values, because these values come frequently and you should know these values by heart. We have discussed these things in our permutation also, that is NP0, NP1 and NPN. Now between NP1 and NPN you have NPR. The formula of NPR we already know. So I'm just talking about the special values. NCN is nothing but n factorial divided by n minus n factorial into into n factorial. Yes, it is 1. Very good, Vishwa. This value and this value will get cancelled out, and here we are having 0. So the 0 factorial is 1. So the final answer is 1. Right? So these three special values you are expected to memorize. Okay, fine. So NC0 is 1. NC1 is n, and then NCN is 1. Okay, fine. Next, the third important property is this. Okay, this is also very, very important property, this formula. Okay, I think, let me write it. The formula of NCN minus R is exactly same as, student, the formula for NCR. Yes, we already know what is the formula of NCR, but the formula of NCN minus R is also exactly same as this, right? So let us first verify this. What is this particular equation is saying, right? Instead of R, if I replace R with the difference of these two, right? In the NCR formula, instead of this lower value, if I replace that with the difference of these two, then the value will not change. So very simple, student. Let us just start with LHS and show that it is RHS. This LHS value will be, student, n factorial divided by, no Chandan, right? This is not a JE class. This class is for everyone, right? So this is for boards, JE student as well as NEET student. This class is for everyone, right? If it is a JE class, I will mention that in the schedule, and I will mention it here also. I will write that this is JE class, right? And usually I say that in the beginning of the class only. So today's class as well as tomorrow's class is a regular class for everyone. Maybe day after tomorrow's class, that is Saturday's class, will be only for JE students. Fine. This is your board syllabus. Okay, students, if I just apply the formula of NC, something here, it is nothing but this n factorial divided by the difference of these two, right? The difference of these two means n minus r, the factorial of this, into this r factorial. Okay, so I hope that you are understanding this. right? The formula of NCR is n factorial divided by the difference of these two, factorial of that, and then whatever is present here, that factorial. Okay, if you simplify this further, student, right, this is nothing but n factorial, and here n will get cancelled with n. Okay, because there's a minus sign, those two will get cancelled, and then this minus into minus will become plus. So this will just become r factorial, and other than that you have n minus r factorial will remain as it is. Yes. Now student, don't you think that this value is exactly your RHS? Yes, because the expansion of NCR is nothing but, n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So that is NCR. Okay. So finally, student, NC n minus r is exactly same as NCR. So that is, whenever you want to calculate NCR, you can replace this r with the difference of these two. So then this value and this value both are same. Okay, fine. So this is one of the very, very important property. Okay, so the next thing comes, student, right? When to use this formula. So student, you should use this formula whenever this r is bigger, right? See here, I'll get an application of this. So for example, student, let us say that I want to calculate, 1000C, okay, 998, right? If I have to calculate 1000C 998 by the regular approach, what I should do is I will start with 1000 and then multiply 998 numbers and divide that by 998 factorial. So there is no doubt, student, multiplying such a big number of numbers and dividing by 998 will be very, very lengthy. But student, as I just told you, we can make use of this formula. When can we make use of this formula, student? Whenever this r value is bigger. Whenever the r value is bigger, we can replace this with the difference of these two. That is, since there's a bigger value, I can replace this with 1000C 1000 minus 998. So this will be equal to, student, 1000 C2, and obviously, student, this quantity is very easy to calculate, right? So this is like multiplication of two numbers and then divided by 2 factorial. So this is very, very easy. So the application of this formula is whenever you have this value bigger, you can replace that bigger value with the difference of these two. Okay, fine. Now student, there is one more thing that can be asked here, right? A noting point here. Right. See, whenever we have NCR, okay, fine. So student, so whenever I have NCA is equal to NCB, right? Whenever NCA is equal to NCB, there are two possibilities, right? Either this A is exactly equal to B, possibility number one, or this A can be equal to N minus B, right? This particular thing is written directly with the help of this, right? See here, the explanation of this is this. NCA will be equal to NCB, and this will further be equal to, student, NCN minus B. Yes, because NCB is same as NC, this B can be replaced with difference of these two. So if the three things are equal and then their n is also equal, then there are two possibilities. Either this is equal to this or this is equal to this. So you should keep this in your mind. Okay. So you should not assume that always this should be equal to this. No. This quantity can also be equal to n minus b because this quantity is same as this. Okay, fine. So yes, this is one of the very important thing for competitive also, and then board exams 1 marks question also. Okay, so to make this point more clear, I have an example which is directly based on this. So the question here is, if NC9 is equal to NC8, find the value of NC17. As you can see here, student, by looking at this, you may think that this is impossible, because if NCR is equal to another NCB, then you will have a conclusion that this is equal to this. But that is not correct, student, right? If these two are equal, then it is not always necessary that these two are also equal. There are two possibilities. Either these two are equal or this value is equal to n minus b. Yes, Kirtan, that is correct. Very good. So now obviously, student, 9 is not equal to 8. So that means the first one is not correct here, right? This is not correct. So the only option is 9 is equal to n minus 8. I hope that everyone understood, right? This is obviously not equal to this. Hence, you will equate this 9 to n minus 8 like this. Take this 8 on the opposite side. So you'll get 9 plus 8 as the value of n. That is, student, n is 17. Yes, that is correct, Tarak. Once you get n is equal to 17, you need to calculate this, right? So that is nothing but, student, 17C17, right? We already know the value of n. What is the value of NCN? So if you have NCN, student, you should not waste your time in putting the formula. You should directly say the value of this is 1. Okay, maybe now you might not be knowing it, but you should quickly memorize these three special values, right? NC0 as well as NC1, both of them are 1 and n. And if you talk about NCN, the value of that is 1. Okay, so if you want, I will just write the value of NP1 so that you can compare it. I think it is better to do the comparison here, right? So NP0 is how much? Anyone remembers? I'm just doing the comparison. Yes, the value of this is, student, 1. The value of NP1 is basically n, and the value of NPN is n factorial. So in comparison of this, if I ask you what is NC0, 1. If I ask you NC1, what is the answer, student? This will be equal to n only, and the value of NCN will be equal to 1. So only when you take all of a time, then the total number of selection is 1. The meaning of this is, student, there are n objects. There are n objects. In how many ways can I select all the n objects? In how many ways can I select all the n objects? So there is no doubt, student, if there are n objects, there is only one way of selecting all the objects, because here arrangement is not important. Hence, NCN is 1. So you're supposed to put this, committed in your memory. Okay? Yes. So first two lines are matching. The third line is different. You have an n factorial here, you have a 1 here. This should be committed to your memory. Fine. Let us move on. Fine. Now, student, there is one very, very important theorem related to NCR, and that is NCR plus NCR minus 1 is equal to n plus 1 CR. Very important for CET or JEE also, and for board exams, it can be asked for 5 marks also, the proof of this. Okay, fine. So you need to prove that addition of these two is equal to this. So very simple, student. We will start with the LHS, right? Your LHS is NCR plus NCR minus 1 is equal to n plus 1 CR. Before we proceed any further, student, first correctly understand what is this theorem. In the theorem, we are basically trying to yes, Kirtan, very good. Yes, you can see this from Pascal's triangle point of view also. Okay, fine. Okay, so student, what is meant by Pascal's triangle? Don't worry about that. We will learn that in binomial theorem. Fine. Okay, so now, students, we have here NCR added to this NCR minus 1. The value of this addition will be equal to this. So this is like, student, this theorem is basically used to add two coefficients, right? Two C coefficients. So C means NCR and NCR. To add two such values, we'll be making use of this. But when you're adding these two, students, you should make sure that the value of n is same and the value of r should have a difference of 1. The example is, student, this theorem is used to find out the value of 100C5 plus 100C4. That is, this numerator value, so this upper value should be same and the lower value should have a difference of 1. Okay, we can also use this to add 100C5 plus 100C6. Yes, this upper value should be same and the lower value should have a difference of 1. And what is the answer of this addition, student? The answer of this addition is, the upper value increases by 1. As you can see here, the upper value increases by 1. And then the lower value will be nothing but the greater of these two. Out of these two, whichever is bigger, you should put that there. Okay. So what is the addition of these two? The n value will increase by 1. And out of these two, whichever is bigger, that will come. So if I increase this 100 by 1, I will get 101. Yes, I will get 101. Okay, C, and out of these two, this one is bigger, so I will put 5 here. In the same way, the answer for the second one will also be 101, but in this case, it will be 6 because out of these two, 6 is bigger. Fine. So this is the application. Let us now see the proof of this. LHS student, right? LHS is this, right? Let us write the formula for this now. The formula for this student, n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. And the formula for the second one is n factorial divided by, remember what you write here, this minus this. So it will be n minus r minus 1 factorial into the factorial of this, that is r minus 1 factorial, you need to write here. Okay, fine. Now simplify this further, students. You write n factorial here, right? This will be n minus r factorial. Okay. So I have already told you this in previous class also. Whenever you're solving a question in which more than one factorial is there, write the bigger factorial in terms of smaller factorial. As you can see here, you have r factorial here and then r minus 1. Out of this r and r minus 1, this is bigger. So what I will do is, I will write this bigger factorial in terms of the smaller. So this can be written as r into r minus 1 factorial. Okay, and in the numerator, n factorial is there, in the denominator. Now, if I multiply this minus sign inside, this minus will go and attach to this. So you will get here n minus r plus 1 factorial into r minus 1 factorial. Okay, I hope that student everyone understood this. This minus will go and become plus, right? I have already splitted this bigger r factorial in terms of, smaller factorial. Then student, there's one more thing here. Out of this and this, so I'm just comparing these two are comparable, right? And in the numerator, n factorial is directly matching with n factorial. Now we have only one term, student, that is this, right? We can also match these two. If you just observe these two, student, right? This is one extra, okay, 1 unit greater than this, because n minus r, if I add plus 1 to the value of n minus r, if I add 1, you are going to get this. So this is a bigger number. Let us also write this bigger factorial in terms of this smaller. So finally, students, we can write this as, right, n factorial divided by n minus r will be as it is, r into r minus 1 factorial plus n factorial divided by this blue color can be written as n minus r plus 1 into its lower factorial. So the lower factorial will be this into r minus 1 factorial. Okay. I hope that, student, everyone remembers what I have used here is, okay, this is what I have used here. Yes, n factorial is nothing but n into its lower factorial. So this is what I have used here. Okay, fine. So now, students, there are many things common. Take that outside and do the simplification, right? So in the numerator, I can take n factorial outside. In the denominator, I can take n minus r factorial. And not only that, I can take this r minus 1 and r minus 1 factorial. Okay, so I can also take that outside. Now the only remaining term is, student, on the left side this 1 by r, and on the second term it is 1 by n minus r plus 1. So these are the only two terms left. On the LHS, 1 by this is left, and on the second term 1 divided by this is left, because even n factorial is taken outside. Just do the simplification of this, student. Just do the cross multiplication. You would get n factorial by n minus r factorial into r minus 1 factorial. Take the LCM, cross multiply, and then multiply with each other. So this will be n minus r plus 1 plus r, and in the denominator you will say it is r into n minus r plus 1. Okay, fine. Now finally, students, this can also be written as, so here r and r will get cancelled out. In the numerator I will get n factorial into n plus 1, and in the denominator we have n minus r factorial. Remember, all these things are in multiplication, right? And in numerator this is in multiplication with this, and this is just n plus 1. So in the denominator we have n minus r factorial, r minus 1 factorial into r, right, into n minus r plus 1. Now look at this more carefully, student. We'll be using the property now in the opposite direction. Okay, so look at this very carefully. See, if I have, see here, if I have n factorial, I can write this as n into n minus 1 factorial. The opposite of this is also true. Whenever you are multiplying, so it is like, student, it is like if you have 5 factorial, this can be written as 5 into its lower factorial. Or we can also say it like this, student, if you multiply any factorial with its next higher value. If you multiply 4 with the next higher value, the value of this will be the higher factorial. So both these are very, very important, right? 5 factorial can be written as 5 into lower factorial. Any lower factorial multiplied with the next number is nothing but the factorial of the next number. Okay, both of these are same. So we'll be using that here, student. As you can see here, you have a factorial of a number multiplied with its next number. Yes, if the factorial is multiplied with the next number, it will be the factorial of the next number. So the numerator is nothing but, this numerator is nothing but n plus 1 factorial. I hope you can understand this. In the same way, student, in the denominator, this n minus r factorial is multiplied with its next number, right? So if I club these two green color, it will be the factorial of the next number. So in the denominator, you will get n minus r plus 1 factorial. Not only that, student, even these two are like you have a factorial multiplied with its next number. So the value of that will also be the next number factorial. Okay, so now, student, we have just simplified and we got this. We should just show that this is equal to RHS. If you look at your RHS, student, you are supposed to show that it is equal to n plus 1 CR. Okay, so what we wanted to show this is n plus 1 CR. Yes, so what I will do, student, whatever I have got here, I will try to write this as what I will get when I do the expansion of this. So I can write this as, student, I can write this as n plus 1 factorial, right? And this thing, n minus r plus 1, I can just take 1 from here and put it here. So this will be equal to n plus 1 minus r and then r factorial. Just by writing this 1 from this position to this, whatever I have written here, student, this is exactly matching with the expansion of n plus 1 CR. Yes, so this is equal to, student, n plus 1 CR. Because if I ask you what is the expansion of n plus 1 CR, you will say this factorial in the numerator, and in the denominator you will say this minus this factorial. That is what you can see here. And again in the denominator you will see this factorial, which is also present here. Hence, student, this value whatever we got here, that is here. So this is your formula. NCR when added with another NCR minus 1 is n plus 1 CR. So this can be asked for 5 marks, the derivation. Okay, so very simple student. What we have done is we have just written the formula for the first one and second one. After that, whichever bigger factorial was there, we wrote that bigger factorial in terms of smaller factorial. After that, whatever was common either in numerator or denominator, we took that outside. Then whatever is left inside, you just do the cross multiplication and take the LCM and simplify, right? Then we'll be getting some numbers after simplification. Then we are using one more. Yes, Abhishek, this is important for JEE also. Derivation is not that much important for JEE class, JEE questions, but it will be useful. Okay, whatever simplification we have done here in your JEE examination, they may not directly ask this, but instead of this, they may ask you what is NCX plus NCX plus 2. They can slightly modify this. Okay, usually we don't see any direct derivations, but a modification of derivation is 100% expected for a JEE also. Okay, they can just, instead of -1, they can just put 5, and then they will say that find the value of this. So whatever the simplification we have used here, that knowledge will surely be useful, right? So the knowledge that whatever is common, you should take it outside. After simplification, whenever you multiply a factorial with this highest number, it will be the factorial of the highest number, and any factorial can be written as that number into its lower factorial. So this information is very, very important. Okay, so that is what we did in the last step, student. So when n factorial is multiplied with its higher factorial, it becomes the factorial of the higher number. Same thing we did in the denominator also, and then we got this as the answer. And this is exactly the expansion of this. Okay, fine, students. So I hope that everyone have understood this. Okay, so can anyone, can you guys do a simple example on this? Find the value of, let's say, 46C1 plus, 46C2 plus 46C3 plus 47C4, okay, plus this will be 4, and then 48C5. Okay, just try this question, student. Just tell me what is the addition of this coefficient. So this is the application of this formula. You don't have to calculate this by using the formula of this. It will be a little bit time consuming, and then do everything. So you can just try to solve this question. Okay, so what you should do, student, that you cannot add all of them. Whatever formula we just learned now, that is based on addition of only 2 things. And that too, student, you can add 2 things only when, this numerator, this upper value is same, this superscript is same. Okay, a value written in the upper position is called as superscript. A value written at this bottom position is called as subscript. Okay, fine. So we know that, student, here the upper value is matching, superscript is matching, and the lower scripts are basically having a difference of 1. So this thing is exactly matching with the LHS, right? These two are same, and then these two are having a difference of 1. So we can use this formula, student, and then I can add these two. So the answer is this upper value increases by 1, 47, and in the lower, whichever is bigger, I will retain that. So I'll be writing here 3. Okay, now there are other 2 terms, that is 47C4 plus 48C3, C5. Yes, that is correct. Some of the students are already given with the answer. Now once again, student, we can add these two because the upper values are matching with each other and the lower is having difference of 1. So we can now add these two to give you upper value increases by 1 and the lower value should take bigger one plus 48C5. Yes, once again, student, the upper value is matching and the lower value is having a difference of 1. So you can this add once again. So this will be 49C5, the bigger value. So this is your final answer. Okay. Fine students. So more about this, we will see more examples of this in the JE class. So from board examination, this simple application, how to use this, when to use this, if you know, that is more than enough. This formula is used only when these upper numbers are same and the difference in this is 1. And the answer is upper gets increased by 1. Out of these two, whichever is bigger, that will come here. Okay, fine. Okay, sure. So this is all about the formula of combination. Let us now solve some questions based on these formulas. Okay, fine. The first one. Yes. So this is a formula without any, word problem, word statement. This is just a solving kind of thing, right? I hope student you remember we have solved a similar question in permutation also, right? So there are two varieties of question that you can expect in this kind of questions. Okay, either n will be unknown or this r will be unknown. If this is not known, then student you should basically be using the second formula, right? If the value of n is if the value of r is known, you should use the first formula, right? So the two formulas, let me, okay, I think I did not mention that. Okay, so immediately after this students, so wherever you have a space, just write it, right? You're supposed to know this, but I think I will give it separately also. This NCR can also be seen as student, okay? NPR divided by this. And the formula for NPR, we have seen that it is also equal to n into n minus 1, n minus 2, dot, 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 up to n minus r plus 1. So this is the formula for NPR and divided by r factorial. Okay, so make sure that you remember this also, directly. So the numerator is nothing but the basic formula of NPR. Okay, this formula is obtained by using fundamental principle of counting. Okay, fine. Okay, now coming back to this question student, right, as I told you, I have discussed this in NPR also. If R value is known, then basically you can just use the first formula. If the value of R is not known, use the second formula. That is, since the value of R is known, you can say that this value is nothing but multiplication of three numbers. Since the value of R is known, this is nothing but multiplication of three numbers. So you can just use that. So first of all, this can be written as 2nC3 divided by nC3. That is equal to 12 by 1. Okay, fine. Pranav, check it once again. I think you have made a mistake. After this student, we can write this as 2n minus 1, 2n into, yes. What is the meaning of NCR student? The meaning of NCR is multiply three numbers starting from this and divide by 3 factorial. That is this into 2n minus 1 into 2n minus 2 divided by 3 factorial is the value of this upper part. Okay, now the lower part is what student? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2. Okay, so yes, the lower part is nothing but n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 divided by 3 factorial is equal to 12 by 1. Okay, I hope that student you understood what I'm doing here, right? This is nothing but the expansion of NC3. The meaning of NC3 is multiply three numbers starting from n and divide by 3 factorial. So here the 3 factorial will get cancelled out, and if you observe more carefully, yes Vishwa, that is correct, good. This n can be cancelled with this n. Not only that student, we can also take 2 common from here. So we can write this as, so I can also cancel here 2 1s are 2 6s are. So remaining terms are 2n minus 1 and then 2 into n minus 1 numerator. Denominator is n minus 1 into n minus 2, right? And on the RHS we have 6 by 1. So once again we can cancel this n minus 1, n minus 1, and 2 1s are 2 3s are. Okay. So now student, as you can see here, after all this cancellation, we are just left with very simple term. This much in the numerator, this much in the denominator divided by 3 by 1. So the last step is student, just cross multiply and get the answer. So this is same as 2n minus 1 is equal to 3 into n minus 2. Yes, very good Tanmay, that is correct. So simplify this. This is 2n minus 1 is equal to 3n minus 6, right? So you can simplify these two students, right? This value and this. So if this goes on the opposite side, what will you get? It will become just n. If this minus 6 comes on the, okay, let me just do that. So I can write this as 6 minus 1 is equal to 3n minus 2n. So this will be 5 is equal to n, and that is the answer. Okay, fine students, we have already solved this kind of questions earlier in permutation also, right? See, keep only this much in your mind. If the value of r is known, whether it is permutation or combination, if the value of r is known, use the shortcut. What is the shortcut? Multiply this these many number of times. If it is permutation, if it is combination, do the same thing, but do one extra step, that is divide by this r factorial. If the value of this is not known, if the value of this is not known, then use the formula. What is that formula, student? N factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. Use that formula if r is written here, if this value is not known. Okay, fine. Okay, so let us now solve, students, some word problem. Okay, we have very interesting word problem here. Okay, the first one. Read the question carefully. A committee, right? A committee of 3 persons is to be constituted from a group of 2 men and then 3 women, right? So whatever important point is there, you can just highlight. You want a committee of 3 persons. We have 2 men available and then 3 women. Okay. So the next question says that in how many ways can this be done? Question number 1. Then how many of this, question number 2 is how many of these committees would consist of only 1 man and 2 women? Okay, let us solve this step by step. First question, right? Before going to the question, the given data is this. Okay, we want a committee of 3 persons. So that means we want total 3 persons. Okay. But what is given to us, student? What is given to us? What is given to us is we have totally 2 men, right? So the number of men is 2 and the number of women is 3. Now what I should do is, student, I should make a committee of 3 persons from this 2 men and 3 women. So can anyone tell me how to solve this? Right? See, pink color is nothing but the first part of the question. So they're saying that we have 2 men available with us and then 3 women. This is the total thing that I have. So from this, I need to make a committee made up of 3 persons. That means from this, I should pick any 3 persons. There is no extra condition given in the first part of the question. They have only said this much. That is, we have 2 men and then 3 women. From this, I should take any 3 persons and form a committee. So the question is only this much, student. For the first one, you should only do this much. You should, students, select, out of total 5 people, you should select any 3 persons, right? There is no specific condition given in this question. Out of 5 persons available with us, they're saying that I should make a committee of 3 persons. So that means out of this total 5, I should choose any 3 persons. So the number of ways of choosing any 3 persons out of total 5 persons itself is 5C3. So just get the value of this, that is the answer. Okay. So now students, see, it looks like this is slightly bigger number. So if you want, you can write this as 5C2. Did you understand, student, how 5C3 is equal to 5C2? Yes. This 3 can be replaced with the difference of these 2. Yes. Obviously, since this is a smaller number, it will be easier to calculate this. So this is nothing but, student, multiplication of 2 numbers divided by the factorial of r. So 2 factorial is 2 only. So it is 2 ones are 2 twos are. What is the answer, student? It is 10 ways. So that means, student, there are 10 ways of choosing 3 people from this 5 people available. Okay, fine. This is the first one. Second one. Now in the second one, student, there are some conditions. I have told you, student, in permutation and combination, whenever condition is given, you should first take care of that condition. Okay. So Kirtan is saying that it is 6, Tanmay is saying 6, Shakshi is saying 6, Tarak is saying 6. Okay, maybe it is correct, right? Let us see, what is the way of solving this question. Second part says, student, out of these 10 ways, there are totally 10 ways of, picking 3 persons out of 5. But now for the second part, green color, they're saying that how many have 1 male and then 2 women. Okay, so what we should do here, student, compulsorily, see, total is 3, there is no doubt. Total we want 3 only, but here they're saying that in this total 3, we should have 1 man and then 2 women. This is the condition. So you should compulsorily take care of this. Okay, so now, student, we know that total number of men that is available to us is 2. Total men available to us is 2, and total women available to us is 3. The question clearly says, student, I want only 1 man and then 2 women, and the total should be 3. So now, student, we have 2 men, but I don't want both the men. I just want 1 man. That means, student, out of these 2 men, I should just take 1 man. So that means I need to select 1 person out of the 2 persons. I hope everyone understood. There are 2 male person available. So from that, I want only 1 man. So the number of ways of choosing only 1 man out of 2 men is this. Okay, fine. Similarly, student, we have a total of 3 women available to us. But as the question specifies, we cannot take all the 3. We specifically want only 2 women. The total number of ways of choosing any 2 women out of a total of 3 is nothing but, student, 3C2. Yes, total is 3, but I want to choose only 2. Now the final answer is, student, multiplication of these 2. Why multiplication, student? My task will be completed only when I choose 1 man and I choose 2 women, right? If I don't do the second one, my target of total 3% will not be done. So I should do this also and I should do this also. So the final answer is multiplication of these 2. Okay, so required is nothing but 2C1 into 3C2. Okay, so that is equal to, student, right? 2C1 is nothing but 2, okay, divided by 1 factorial, and then 3C2 is nothing but 3 factorial, sorry, 3 into 2 divided by 2 factorial. Okay, or you should remember this value, sorry, anyway. Okay, so 2C1 is nothing but multiplication of 1 number divided by 1 factorial. 3C2 is multiplication of 2 numbers divided by 2. So this 2 will get cancelled out. The answer is just 2 into 3. So if I just do 2 into 3, the answer is going to be 6 ways. Okay, I hope that everyone understood, and this is very important for 5 marks in your board exams. In your board exams, 5 marks question will come. So that will be these kind of question only, right? So, a problem on committee formation, a group formation. This is for 5 marks. Fine. Let us solve some more questions related to the group formation. The next example is a cricket team. Very interesting question. Okay, read the question carefully, student. Let me read it for you. The question says, in how many ways can one select a cricket team? So this is not important, right? We want to select a cricket team of 11. So we all know that, student, we want a total of 11. And then what is available to me? I have 17 total players, okay, in which only 5 players can bowl. So I have 17, but only 5 bowlers, okay, 5 players know the bowling. And they're saying the student, if each cricket team consists of 11, right, must include exactly 4 bowlers, right? So the total number should be 11, that we already know, right? So this is an important thing. And then exactly 4 bowlers should be there. Okay, fine. So let us see that student how to solve this question. Okay, so first of all, student, we have a total of 17 players, right? Total players is this. Now in this student specifically they are saying that 5 are bowlers. So let us separate this. Out of this we have 5 bowlers, right? And then remaining are non-bowlers. So remaining 12 will be there who are non-bowlers, don't know the bowling, or all-rounders we can say. Fine. Now student, what we want is we want a total of, a team of 11. The question is team of 11. Team of 11. Right? So that means student, I should totally have 11 members to form the team. But the condition is student, I should have exactly 4 bowlers. Totally I have 5 bowlers student, but I cannot take all the 5 because exactly 4 bowlers are required. So that means student, can I say that out of these 5 bowlers, I should choose only 4? Yes. The number of ways of choosing only 4 bowlers out of total of 5 is nothing but student 5C4. I hope that everyone understood why I wrote this value here. In order to form the team, I want exactly 4 bowlers, but I have a total option of 5 bowlers. So the total number of ways of choosing 4 bowlers out of 5 bowlers is 5C4. But student, my team of 11 is not completed just, by choosing bowlers. Along with the bowlers, I should choose 7 remaining members. See, out of 11, if I have already chosen 4 members, I should choose 7 more members. I should choose 7 more members from the remaining non-bowlers. Totally, we have 17, out of which 5 are bowlers, 12 are non-bowlers. To make a team of 11, I should have 4 bowlers plus I should have 7 non-bowlers. How many total non-bowlers are there, student? 12. So that means from this 12, I should select any 7 non-bowlers. And finally, to make a team of 11, I should select this and I should select non-bowlers also. So what is the answer, student? It is 5C4 into 12C7. Okay, just calculate this, student. It looks like this number is very bigger, right? So when I say big, student, this is very close to this. If this number is close to this, then this is considered as bigger. As you can see here, even 7 is very close to this. So we can write this as 5C5 minus 4 into 12C12 minus 7. I told you, student, whenever this is bigger, I can replace that bigger with the difference of these two. So this is 5C1 into 12C5. So I have already told the student NC1. The value of NC1 is directly N. So this is directly 5. And then the value of 12C5 is the only thing which you should calculate. So this is nothing but, student, multiplication of 5 numbers starting from 12 divided by 5 factorial. That is 12 into 11 into 10 into 9 into 8. These are the 5 numbers divided by 5 factorial. So this 5 factorial, we know that, student, it is 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So I can cancel this 5 and 5. Then, student, this 12 is nothing but 4 into 3. And then 2 ones, I can say 2 fours are. So whatever numerator terms are left out, just do the multiplication. 11 into 9 into 4, right? So what will you get, student? So I can write this as 9 fours are 36, and 36 into 11 will be 36 plus 36, which will be 396. So the answer will be, student, 396, and if I multiply by 10, it will be this much. So student, so these are the total number of options we have, to make a team of 11, right? So if you just, think, in a normal way, student, we may never imagine that just from 17 players, we can make a team of, these many possibilities. Maybe if you have 17 players, normally we may think that, okay, maybe I can make some 10 teams or maybe 20 teams. Okay. But student, the actual correct value is not that. If I have to make a team of 11, there are almost 4,000 ways of making a team of 11 from 17. Okay, fine. Remember student, whenever you are writing these things in the board examination, you should write an explanation for each and every line, right? So before writing this, you should write here, we need to choose 4 players out of 5, which can be done in these many ways, right? Whatever I'm telling in words, you should write that statement for your board exams, right? Similarly, here also you should say that we need to choose 7 non-bowlers out of 12 bowlers, 12 non-bowlers, which can be done in these many ways. And then from fundamental principle of counting, the total number of ways is this into this, and then simplification. Okay, fine students, I hope that everyone understood this. Yes, let us try next question. So this is also very interesting. Read the question carefully. In how many ways can a student, in how many ways can a student choose a program of 5 courses? That means the total courses he should take is 5, right? He should choose a program, total number of courses is 5. Then if 9 courses are available, so that means he should choose totally 5, but 9 are available. Okay, fine. Further student, they're saying that 2 specific courses are compulsory for everyone. Okay, so very interesting question. Fine. As usual student, the total number of courses available is 9. And now the student is required to make a course of 5. But one very important thing given in this question is 2 specific courses are compulsory for every student. That means every student should compulsorily take this, right? It is like student, English is your compulsorily first language. Only for the second language you have an option, either Sanskrit, Kannada, Hindi, etc. But English is compulsory. So like that student, 2 specific courses are compulsory, and then remaining is all are optional. So how do you solve this question student? See, there are 9 courses totally and we need to choose any 5. But in this 5 student, 2 is compulsory. Whenever they say that something is compulsory student, whenever some extra condition is given, either in permutation and combination, whenever extra condition is given, you should first take care of that condition. So that means student, I have taken the 2 compulsory thing. This 9 can be distributed as 2 compulsory and then 7 optional. Okay, fine. So now student, I want to make a total of 5, but I know that this 2 compulsory, I don't have an option of either choosing one option or either choosing 2. I don't have that option because since this is compulsory, I should compulsorily include all of them. That means student, I need to choose 2 and I have 2. I hope that everyone understood why I wrote 2C2, right? Because there are 2 compulsory available and I should compulsorily choose both of them. So that is why I have written this. But now student, once I have already chosen 2 compulsory, in order to make a total of 5, I should just choose 3 more courses out of 7 left out. So the total number of ways of choosing 3 out of a total of 7 is nothing but 7C3. Obviously student, in order to make a total of 5, I should choose these 2 books and I should choose 3 books which are optional, 3 courses which are optional. So the final answer is student, required is nothing but 2C2 into 7C3. Okay, so just simplify this. I have already told the student NCN is nothing but 1. And then 7C3, as you can see here, this number is smaller only. So you can directly calculate this. So this will be, student, 7 into 6 into 5 divided by 3 factorial. Okay, so this factorial is nothing but 3 into 2 into 1. So we can cancel this 3 factorial with the 6. What is the final answer? Yes, it is 35A's. So this is your answer. Okay, fine students, I think that it's time up. So, but before leaving you guys, I have a question for you which is exactly similar to this, which you can try today. Okay, the remaining questions we'll solve tomorrow. So this is a compulsory homework for today. Okay, do this question compulsorily today. And the rest of the questions you can do tomorrow from your NCERT textbook. Okay, fine students, class is over, you can take the break. If you have any doubt, you can stay back and clarify. Otherwise, you can take the break. Okay, fine. Thank you and bye.